Starbucks actually makes billions from far more than coffee, because the drink in your hand is only the visible end of a much larger machine built around locations, habit, licensing, loyalty, and remarkable pricing power. A cup that may contain well under $1 of coffee, milk, syrup, and packaging can sell for several times that amount. But calling the difference pure profit would be a serious mistake. Behind every latte sits an expensive network of stores, workers, equipment, leases, supply chains, technology, and customer acquisition. The real economics of Starbucks begin when all those pieces work together often enough and at enormous scale. The first thing to understand is that Starbucks is not simply a packaged coffee company. Most of its revenue comes from company-operated stores. In those locations, Starbucks receives the entire sale, but it also carries the operating burden: rent, wages, utilities, equipment, maintenance, ingredients, insurance, and local management. Licensed stores work differently. A university, airport operator, hotel, supermarket, or another partner may run the location while Starbucks supplies the brand, products, systems, and standards. Starbucks receives licensing and product revenue without carrying every store-level expense itself. That mix matters because the two models trade revenue for efficiency. A company-operated cafe produces a much larger top-line sale but demands more capital and labor. A licensed counter produces less reported revenue for Starbucks because the partner records the customer transaction, yet it can expand the brand into places where operating directly would be difficult or expensive. Airports, hospitals, campuses, and travel hubs become distribution points as much as coffee shops. The familiar green symbol follows customers through their daily routines without Starbucks having to own every counter they see. Then there is the product itself. Coffee is attractive because the raw ingredient is only one part of the price. Customers are paying for speed, consistency, customization, atmosphere, convenience, and the confidence that a familiar order will taste roughly the same in Seattle, London, Paris, or Dubai. Espresso shots, flavored syrups, alternative milks, cold foam, larger sizes, and food add-ons lift the average ticket. A small change in the average order becomes enormous when repeated across millions of transactions. Customization also turns a commodity into something personal. A plain cup of coffee competes heavily on price. A highly specific drink with a familiar name, saved in an app, collected at a convenience store, and tied to reward points is harder to compare directly with a rival product. That reduces price sensitivity. Starbucks is not only selling caffeine, it is selling a repeatable ritual designed around the individual customer. The mobile app strengthens that ritual. Customers can order before arriving, store payment details, earn stars, receive personalized offers, and avoid waiting at the register. For Starbucks, the app provides something equally valuable: frequency. Rewards members have a reason to return, while prepaid balances and stored value cards bring cash into the ecosystem before every drink is redeemed. In fiscal 2025, Starbucks said its rewards program drove nearly 60% of revenue at U.S. company-operated stores. That makes loyalty infrastructure one of the company's most powerful economic assets. Digital ordering can also increase throughput. A cafe has limited seats and limited counter space, but mobile orders allow more transactions to flow through the same location. Drive-through lanes extend that capacity further. The store becomes a compact production facility that happens to look like a coffeehouse. When the system runs smoothly, baristas can prepare standardized products quickly, and high customer volume spreads fixed costs such as rent and equipment across more sales. Location is another major advantage. Starbucks seeks corners, commuting routes, shopping districts, office zones, and travel hubs where demand is already moving. A good site creates convenience, visibility, and habitual traffic. But prime locations are expensive. A weak store can be trapped by high rent, slow demand, or a layout that cannot process enough orders during peak periods. The same strategy that creates powerful sales can become a burden when traffic shifts or office patterns change. Unlike McDonald's, Starbucks is not primarily a real estate landlord. Its location advantage comes from selecting, leasing, designing, and operating a dense network of accessible stores. Density creates convenience, but it also creates the risk of cannibalization. Two nearby cafes may collectively serve more customers, yet they may also divide sales that once belonged to one location. Management must decide whether an additional store expands the market or merely rearranges it. The store itself requires meaningful upfront investment. Espresso machines, grinders, refrigeration, water systems, counters, furniture, digital screens, drive-through equipment, and remodeling all consume capital. Equipment must remain reliable because a broken espresso machine during the morning rush does more than create a repair bill. It can destroy a store's most profitable hours. Periodic renovations are necessary to keep locations feeling current and to redesign workflow as ordering behavior changes. Labor is one of the largest and most sensitive costs. Starbucks needs enough baristas to handle complex drinks quickly, maintain cleanliness, serve food, manage mobile orders, and preserve the customer experience. Understaffing may save money for a day, but create longer waits, mistakes, refunds, stressed employees, and customers who do not return. Overstaffing protects service but pressures margins. Scheduling becomes a constant forecast of demand by hour, day, season, and location. The menu creates its own operational challenge. Customization supports higher prices, but every new syrup, topping, milk, and preparation method adds inventory and slows production. A menu that excites customers can overwhelm the bar behind the counter. The economic goal is not unlimited choice. It is profitable choice, enough variety to raise demand and ticket size without making each order too slow or inconsistent. Ingredients are only the beginning of supply chain risk. Starbucks buys coffee from multiple regions, then manages roasting, packaging, transportation, dairy, food, cups, lids, and thousands of store deliveries. Coffee prices can rise because of weather, crop disease, currency changes, or global demand. Milk and food costs fluctuate. Shipping disruptions can leave stores without popular items. Starbucks can use contracts and scale to reduce volatility, but it cannot make agricultural risk disappear. Scale does provide bargaining power. A global buyer can negotiate packaging, logistics, equipment, technology, and ingredients more effectively than an independent cafe. Central roasting and standardized specifications help maintain consistency. Marketing spending can support thousands of stores at once. A successful product launch spreads across an enormous network, allowing the development cost of one drink to be distributed over millions of potential orders. Seasonal products demonstrate that power. A limited-time beverage creates urgency, social conversation, and a reason for occasional customers to return. The drink may use familiar ingredients in a new combination, yet its seasonal identity supports a premium price. Cold beverages have also expanded the business beyond traditional hot coffee and helped attract customers at different times of day. Each menu innovation is ultimately a test of whether novelty can improve traffic, ticket size, or both. Food is another lever. A customer who adds breakfast or a snack can increase the value of the transaction without requiring Starbucks to find another visitor. Yet food brings waste, refrigeration, shelf life, and forecasting problems. An unsold pastry has no loyalty value at closing time. Stores must stock enough to capture demand without throwing too much away. This is a small daily decision multiplied across a global network. Packaged coffee, ready-to-drink beverages, and consumer products extend Starbucks beyond cafes. Grocery shelves and partnership distribution let the brand earn from customers who brew at home or buy bottled drinks. These channels may involve different economics, including manufacturing partners, royalties, and distribution agreements. They also keep the brand visible even when a customer does not visit a store. The brand itself functions like an economic shortcut. Customers recognize the menu language, cup design, and ordering process. That familiarity reduces uncertainty in an unfamiliar city. It also allows Starbucks to charge more than many local alternatives, but brand strength is expensive to maintain. One widely shared service failure, labor controversy, pricing backlash, or cultural misstep can travel globally within hours. This is why revenue alone does not tell the full story. Starbucks can report tens of billions of dollars in annual sales while still facing margin pressure. Store operating expenses, wages, renovation programs, promotions, inflation, and slower transactions can absorb a large share of each sale. Recent company results illustrate the tension. Sales can rise, while investment in staffing and the coffeehouse experience temporarily reduces operating income. The turnaround logic is straightforward but difficult. Improve service, simplify work, restore the cafe atmosphere, and convince customers that the premium price remains worthwhile. The cost arrives first, through more labor, training, equipment, or remodeling. The benefit comes later only if customers visit more often, order more, and remain loyal. That delay makes a turnaround financially uncomfortable even when the strategy is sensible. Competition adds another layer. Independent cafes can offer local character. Fast food chains can undercut price. Convenience stores can win on speed. Home machines can eliminate the trip entirely. In some markets, powerful local tea and coffee brands understand regional tastes better. Starbucks must be familiar without becoming boring, premium without appearing unreasonable, and efficient without losing the atmosphere that justified the premium. Currency movements matter as well. A global company earns revenue and pays expenses in many currencies, then reports results in dollars. A successful international operation can look weaker after exchange rate translation. Regulation, labor rules, rent structures, and consumer habits also vary by country, preventing the company from copying one store model everywhere without adjustment. So where does the money actually come from? Primarily from a huge volume of company-operated beverage and food sales, strengthened by premium pricing and repeat visits. Licensed locations add lower capital reach. Consumer products extend the brand into homes and supermarkets. Rewards and mobile ordering increase frequency and convenience. Customization and food lift the average ticket. Scale supports purchasing, marketing, and product development. And where does the money go? Labor, occupancy, ingredients, store operations, equipment, logistics, technology, marketing, administration, taxes, and constant reinvestment. The difference between a powerful brand and a powerful business is execution at the store level. A famous logo cannot prepare orders faster, repair a machine, or make a customer return. People and systems must do that thousands of times every day. The deepest advantage may be habit. Many customers do not reconsider the entire coffee market each morning. They repeat a known order at a known location through a known app. Habit lowers the mental cost of purchasing. When combined with rewards, convenient locations, and consistent products, it creates recurring demand that is difficult for smaller competitors to reproduce at the same scale. But habit can weaken if the experience deteriorates or the price feels disconnected from value. That is the central risk. Starbucks must protect the ritual while improving the economics behind it. Raise prices too aggressively and traffic may fall. Cut labor too deeply and service suffers. Expand too quickly and weak stores consume capital. Add too much complexity and throughput collapses. Starbucks therefore makes billions not because coffee is magically profitable, but because it has built a global system that turns coffee into frequency, customization, convenience, and brand trust. The cup begins the transaction. The store network, licensed reach, app rewards program, menu architecture, and supply chain make it repeatable. Every extra visit, upgraded size, food attachment, and licensed counter strengthens the system, provided service remains fast enough and customers still believe the experience deserves its premium. When those pieces align, a relatively simple drink becomes a remarkably productive business. When they do not, even one of the world's strongest consumer brands discovers that selling billions of dollars of coffee is very different from keeping billions in profit.